What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So I got another painting video for you guys. I know a lot of you love these videos, so let's go ahead and do another one. So this video I'm doing a 1999 Ford Taurus NASCAR. So, but first things first, before we get to painting, I love to go over the whole body with air through the airbrush. I skipped the primer process because priming is pretty boring. It's just gray, so you don't need to see that. You guys mostly want to see the color. So after primer, let the primer dry for about 2 to 3 hours or so, or overnight if you want to, and then just go over the whole body, get every single piece of dust off because you don't want any of that in your color coat. Okay, so now it's time to do your first coat. So I get this question a lot, I mean constantly on my older videos. What kind of airbrush am I using? What kind of specs am I using? So let's go ahead and go through this right now. The airbrush that I'm using in this video is Mr. Hobby. It's a trigger throw airbrush. It's actually an Iwata, to be honest. Mr. Hobby teamed up with Iwata with this one. So it's a very nice airbrush, a trigger throw, and it's a gravity fed airbrush. Gravity fed means the paint goes on top. If it's a suction fed, obviously the paint goes onto the bottom and your airbrush has to suck it. So for model building, gravity fed airbrushes are probably one of the most popular ones, that is because they're easy to work with and in my opinion they're easier to clean, and that's what I like to look forward to. So the needle size that I'm using is a 0.5 millimeter, but with this airbrush it has 2 different nozzles. So the first nozzle right now I'm using with the spray off nozzle, which means it has like a spray nozzle on it, like a spray throw you want to call it. It blows air with the air that's shooting the paint. So there's 3 parts that's shooting the air. First part that's shooting the air is obviously the paint. And there's 2 more holes on the nozzle that's spraying the air on the outside in the X formation, and that's what gives this paint a nice even look. As you can see, the spray on this body is very big. It's large, and that's the look I'm looking for. Bodies, I normally do this because it's easy to cover, and it just looks, it covers evenly, and it covers much faster. As you can see, the throw is just amazing. And with this video, I think this video is only like a minute and 50 seconds long, so that's how long it took this body to cover. I mean, it's amazing. So with that, that sprays super nice. So after the first coat is done, let the body dry for about 5 to 10 minutes long, and then you move on to your second coat. With splash paints covers, and not only covers, but it dries super fast. So within like 5 minutes or so, you can move on to your second coat. Keep your coats super light. Don't go heavy no matter what kind of paint you're using. Tamiya, Mr. Hobby, in this case splash paints, zero paints, gravity colors, whatever kind of paint you're using, make sure you go super light. If you don't go light, you go pretty heavy, you're risking wrinkling the paint. That is for acrylic or minimal paints. If you're using acrylic paint, that won't happen, such as if you're using Tamiya acrylic. You can go as thick, but keep in mind that paint doesn't dry as fast. So if you're using acrylic, or if you're using lacquers or enamels, make sure you go super light on the color. Okay, now it's time for your third coat. Sometimes this coat could be your final coat, but for this one in particular, it's not, because it's yellow. Sometimes yellow can take some time to cover. So for me, this color took about 4 coats to cover. But again, 10 to 15 minutes dry time, and you should be good. So if you are not so sure if your color is good within 5 or 10 to 15 minutes long, your paint, the color that's on the body, it should have like a eggshell look to it, like a similar look to an eggshell. Eggshell has that like kind of shiny kind of look to it. So look at an eggshell, that's what the color should look like, unless you're using like a gloss paint. But Most paints these days are matte, they don't dry clear, so make sure it has a nice, eggshell look to it. That's how you know it has that look, and you're ready for your next coat. Alright, now it's time for my fourth and final coat. So this coat can be the thickest of them all because it has there are 2 or 3 layers that's on top, and the fourth one is good enough for me. Usually 3 coats is more enough, so make your mask coat the thickest of them all and finish it all off. But alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned, I got some pictures at the end. But alright guys, until my next video, I'll catch you all next time. Take it easy.